Welcome back to another episode of We Are Doing Missions. And for this to happen, we have to leave this little piece of land. And we have to go to the world map, in this case, immediately go to Mulandir, because we, unlock the human race. Which seems weird if you think about it this way, but okay. Would you like to travel to Mulandir? Wait, yeah, of course, but I just want to check something out first. Because I had this slight suspicion that there is some kind of entrance in the slums, but no, there's not. There is actually no entrance down here. Okay. I thought there was one. But no, it's just the sewers and nothing else. Wait a minute, no. There was something close to a building also, I believe. Like there was some kind of a entrance also in one of those houses, I think. Let's just have a quick look, like any second now. I thought it was like right next to one of those thingies. It's really difficult to figure that out because you can't really see anything. Nope. Nope. Okay, let's go to Mulandir. So yeah, many tales have been told about Mulandir, the lost city of the Shapers, where some scholars go so far as to doubt its very existence. Others claim that it was a utopia, an unconquerable city in a valley of never-ending summer. However, they all agree on one thing: whoever finds it will go down in history. Go down in, hopefully, not a dying kind of manner. Haggard is now there. Wayfarer is unlocked, and this dude is also there. Wilron is now available for trading, and Quira is now available for trading.
Tiara's breath.
Taylor's
you
there.
haven't promised too much, Tahar. This place is incredible.
Ooh. Number 5. Okay, so now I have to choose. Either I'm going for Undercast or Rohen. But I'm kind of missing out at least one other melee dude. So that's weird. So yeah, this place is incredible.
Just wait until you see it in action.
In action? What action are you talking about?
Just don't forget, we're here for a purpose.
Which is making our lives just a teeny-weeny bit better.
I won't. I'll go talk to Flynn now. We need to find a good place to set up camp. And, if you want to talk, you know, about the past, then feel free to come by.
Aww.
In any case, with our new allies, we should be able to go look for the stones. Let's talk at the forge.
Interesting, it's alloys. He said alloys, not allies, but alloys. And an alloy, like an alloy, is a, is a combination between two different kinds of metal. So the word ally is someone who works together with you or who is friendly towards you, right? And an alloy is basically the same thing for metals. So one metal together with another metal is an alloy, a combination. And allies are two individuals or factions or whatever working together. It's very interesting how he pronounced it. The word ally and alloy. Huh.
Though it might be wise to look for more support first. We don't know what to expect there.
Yeah, we're going for all the supports. The next one will be elves, of course, and then we are going for the orcs. So, human arsonists are unlocked now. Like, everything has to get unlocked now. And also, what I'm gonna do is I have to figure out what Rohen's skills are. I think I'm not gonna get this dude into the squad now. Yeah, I don't know what he can do in terms of damage, so... Refugees. The Secret of the Shapers, a quest received. It's now unlocked. Miles to go before I sleep. Advance in the main quest. Miles to go before... Oh, that's the Yiria kind of thing. Talk to your comrades. Anchors of the Past is Isgrim. For the Greater Good is probably Rohen. World Within. Could be anything. Okay, that's it. Now we finally got everything unlocked. The thing is, if you go to Mulandir, there's this little banner displayed, and at the same time, not shortly after, and also not at a different location, but at the same time and at the same place, you get this little notifications about stuff that is unlocked. So it's nice that you get it displayed, but it's not nice that it takes the same space and you basically can't read it and you don't know that you have it unlocked. It's a bit iffy, but okay. Light armor of the snake, which is +1 dexterity. Nice. Constitution is also necessary for it. Double your bleed out time. That's good. Cauterizing medium armor. That thing is basically burning your wounds for you. +1 in strength for the for this one. Like, not only that's weird. Not only do you get bonus defenses. Wow. Okay. You kind of have to think about what you want. You either get additional magical resistances. Like this one has 20, 20, 10, 10. This one sadly only has 10, 10. But this one is actually pretty good. It does have a nice average. The only problem is, where do I get additional physical resistances? You only get it from these kind of armor here. And then there's 45 and 15. Okay, that's just a channeling robe. Why would I want to have that one? And also, how do I I can't compare this item with the one that I wear at the moment for the character that I have selected at the moment, so it's a bit iffy. But at least I can close this window and open it again. Regenerates 1 HP per second when out of combat. It's nice, but it's only useful outside of combat. And outside of combat I can use my health regeneration, null spells all the time anyway, so this seems to be a very useful ability, but not really. Because it's only working outside of combat, and outside of combat you can use any means necessary to increase your health. But okay, this one has 15, 15, whatever. This one has 20 only, and this one has 20, 20, 10, 10. So it's basically the same. 15, 15, whatever. The average is the same, but this one does have slightly better physical resistances. It's better trade-off than the bleed out time. Huh, think about it. Like, this armor makes it better for you to die. What about the whole not dying at all part, right? Like, you... if you die safer, let's say. But this one just doesn't make you die at all. So, also... kind of makes... Like, who is supposed to wear this anyway? Like, someone who's gonna die, if anything happens? Who can kind of take some damage, but then you have to go into the battle and have to save them. That's not cool. So it kind of feels as if you're not kind of forced, but it's kind of weird. You have to go for Constitution, a high amount of Constitution for every character, and then you have to choose 2 other stats that you want to increase at the same time. So it's Constitution and 2 others. Constitution, whatnot. So you end up with everyone getting those combat improving armor types. And no one actually wears any robes. Like, this is... like, if you have a high amount of focus points and focus regeneration, then you don't necessarily need this. And 0.1 focus regeneration doesn't feel as much compared to, like, look at that. I have 1.6 focus regeneration. Without the robe, there we go. Without the robe, it would be at 1.5. But this one gives all focus costs a reduction of 25%. What about this one? Spell costs of, yeah, this is elemental one, but I don't have any elemental mage, so this must be a pure Rohen kind of robe. And Rohen has, yeah, Rohen Tahir's armor. It's not that much better, but he uses a shield as well. That's interesting. He uses an S-stock and the shield. So what kind of dude is this? We have abilities in here. White magic, elementalism. Yeah, so he is using sword and shield, but at the same time, he does not have any abilities that would utilize that. He's just kind of ignoring the whole thing. He uses swords and shield, but he doesn't use them for abilities. What he does use, though, it's actually kind of an interesting mix. Like, you are not supposed... You're not necessarily forced to use swords and shield. You can even use bows, bow and arrow, or daggers, or whatever mazes. You can cast anything you want. The weapon itself does not interfere with it. The only problem is that if you have a melee weapon, you only get its auto attack benefits if you scale the corresponding stats. So dexterity needs to be scaled, or strength for these kind of weapons here, like dexterity or the strength weapon or whatever. I haven't seen any willpower kind of weapons, and also it's only a minimum requirement. It's not that the magic stuff items are getting better once you have enough willpower. So it's always the same amount of DPS. It will never change because you're not supposed to use it like that. That's very interesting to see. And then there are also physical abilities that you can use. Like, okay, let's just forget about the whole willpower and the stuff. Like, this one does not have a requirement stat. This is just a nice way of healing. And in this case, it would be very good to have a dagger in hand, because then you can trigger the heal multiple times. Very, very quickly. This one's just transfer of stuff. That's willpower again, intelligence. So this is more like a caster build. Then we have intelligence, yada yada. Constitution. So this would be one for the just max out constitution ideas, and then we are going for earthquake, also constitution. It's really strange. So what do we have here? We have intelligence, willpower, nothing, intelligence, and constitution. So there's always one ability at the bottom that scares with constitution. Not in here though. Okay, what do we got? Increases block chance by 2.5%. Every time you level this up, you can level this up 6 times. Yeah, 6.2.5. How much is that? Bloody hell. Okay, 5 times is 2. You can do this like once. 3 times. So 5, 10, 15%. What else? A fire nova erupts around you, damaging all enemies within the radius. It kind of feels as if this is the artifact spell. Units in the targeted area inflict additional ice damage. So that's kind of a buff. Very interesting. Cast time, effect duration, and it's an area of effect. So you have to choose accordingly. All of your melee auto attacks deal additional fire and ice damage. And ice. So it's kind of like Undergast's spell, this one. All auto attacks deal white and black damage. So the paradox magic is kind of the same as primal magic. It behaves this. So you're kind of supposed to either choose Undergast or Rohen, I believe. Depending on the kind of damage that you want to do. Fire nova erupts around you, damaging all enemies, except that it does not heal. Then we got Chain Lightning, shoot out a bolt of lightning that chains across multiple enemies, deals damage, and has a chance to stun them. So the whole stunning kind of thing is pretty sweet. What's the other one doing? Shoot out a bolt of lightning, yada yada, and has a chance to stun. We got that one. And forks out to nearby targets. The forking out, so... Right? The chains across multiple targets. And it forks out, so that means that this one... it forks out. It can... not only go from one enemy to the next, it can chain, so it's an exponential growth thing. I just don't know how many can be hit with it. Engulf yourself in fire and ice magic, increasing the respective resistances and damaging all enemies in your immediate vicinity. For how long? There's an effect duration and a cooldown of 20 seconds, so you have to wait for 5 seconds all the time until you can use it again. But for that amount of time, it is a self-targeted thing, so you can't use it on anyone else, sadly. But this is kind of like the stun field around our dwarf. Ice and fire, yada yada. Ice and fire resistances are increased. Enemies attacking you take fire and ice damage and are impaired as well as weakened. Whoa. It says, and enemies attacking you. Do the does the enemy need to attack me, or do they just need to stand next to me in order for this to get triggered? And damaging all enemies in your immediate vicinity. It damages the enemies in the immediate vicinity, meaning it's an aura that spreads out. It is not a reflection ability. Like, because otherwise, like, this spell describes its effect two different ways. One of them mirrors the damage, and the other, or reflects damage, needs enemies to be attacking you, basically. Enemies attacking you take fire and ice damage, and are impaired and whatever. So they need to attack you first, and then they take the damage. Whereas the white description of it just tells you that enemies take damage if they are close to you. And they don't even need to attack you. So you can just stand next to them and don't attack them at all. Like a beacon of damage, if you think about it. It's a very interesting differentiation here. If the caster has Fire Might, it is removed upon casting and Nova's damage is increased. So you can use Elementalism and Fire Might to improve the Fire Nova. That's weird. What about this one? Ice damage, yeah. Units in target area inflict additional ice and fire damage. Units in targeted area inflict additional ice damage. Oh, ice and fire. Okay, so it's just more of the same. What's this? All of your melee auto attacks deal additional fire and ice damage and have a chance to deal AoE damage. Okay, the chance for AoE damage kind of sounds cool. So we're going for this and this, because I am turning him into a battle mage, like the thing that he would be. Okay, so if he's a battle mage, he needs to survive. That means, and also he needs a lot of focus regeneration. Problem is, this does not regenerate a lot of focus. And does spell power increase the auto attack stuff on here? I don't know. Anyway, the AoE effect is pretty cool. Let's keep that one. And also maximize that as much as we can. Then he can have free effects, and he can anyway just use the abilities so often until he runs out of focus points. So if I turn him into a auto attack wielder, then yeah, this one would also benefit a lot. Like, it's 12 focus points, doesn't change as much. Fire Nova as well, like 17. This is the Fire Might that it benefits from, and this is just units in targeted area inflicted. So this buff here and this buff here, like this one only affects himself, whereas this one affects others as well. You can use two buffs at the same time. The problem is, how many of them can I use? And also, if I use him as a battle mage, then going for a constitutional build might be better. And maybe going for a more intelligence kind of build would also be better, because intelligence increases the regeneration of the focus points. It's nice that you have a lot of them, but you need to regenerate them first. But if I only use the ability once before the fight or at the start of it, then that's basically it. The effect duration is 15 seconds. With a bit of luck, that's as long as the fight needs to be. This damage. Also very interesting, it does chain lightning damage, right? What kind of damage type is this? If it throws out bolts of lightning, it's like fire and ice. There is no electricity kind of damage, and also electricity does not behave like pure damage or fire damage altogether. So that's weird. Electricity is not considered to be a separate kind of damaging type. It's just fire and ice. Lazy. It could just be fire and that's it. Okay. What am I gonna go for? I could use spell power. Increases spell power. And there's no spell power description in here, and also it doesn't change anything. But yeah, having higher block chances is good, and I'm gonna give him a shield. A shield that probably needs a lot of... Let's give him 6 constitution for now. Level him up. And I'm gonna give him a better shield. A shield that... And shields are weapons. Because you can bash people's heads in. Okay, 3 additional points in constitution. So I can give him this shield. And also, he can just get a very, very powerful armor anyway, and he will be a second damaging. Yeah, he can be really good. Maybe I don't need Undergast, but a second healer would be really cool. So, instead of Undergast being a really powerful healer in the squad, maybe I have to get rid of Yuria. Like, I don't know. Who am I supposed to get rid of? Undergast is really cool, and I didn't have that many problems, but the problem is that I'm focusing most on Iskrim, or like 3 damage dealers. Like I have myself, Yuria with the range damage, then there's Undergast with the range damage, and then there's Iskrim with the melee. But Rohen would be a second melee character who can suck up some damage close by, so that would actually benefit me more, I would say. And if I give him some willpower, something like this, in order to boost the healing and so on, then I could benefit a lot. Maybe I can even do this one here with a shield and whatnot. But yeah, spell power would definitely increase this as well. So let's just level this up even more. I still have a few more points to use. I can't use the regeneration though. I want to give him a better shield. I just want to have an awful lot of block chance for it. That would save, yeah, his survival. And the cannot be stunned part is just amazing. Let's give him all of the constitution that we can muster. Also the potion of fresh start, he doesn't need that. Give him this shield. Tower shield is amazing. The stats are just cool. Like every 3rd hit gets blocked. Well, 4th hit and a little bit more than that. Sadly, I don't have any other shield that could be used here. So what about the weapons? He uses an S-stock. Maybe I can give him a dagger, or like he does ice and fire damage already. Do we have like siege stuff? Chance to apply bleed. Yeah, why not this one? He has higher dexterity than strength, so using a dexterity kind of weapon would be better. Auto attack better on wildlife, better against humans. Let's see. Also the ones that, yeah, the one that he uses has a higher crit chance already. This is the same. More damage over time, more attack speed. Damn it, the winter sword is actually pretty good. Let's give this dude the winter sword. And hope he can dish out tons of damage. What else do we have here? I need dexterity. It's too bad I can't just select for dexterity kind of weaponry. But yeah, the DPS is always the same. I'm looking for some higher crit damages on the dexterity weapons. But there doesn't seem to be a lot here. Maybe the axe. What's so special about this one? A dexterity axe, a hatchet. Very nice. Oh, the ritual dagger. Nice. Oh, that one has slightly higher block chance. Yeah, let's look for block chance on some of those. Block chance on these. There's only crit. Yeah, there's only crit. Like, this one also has 15% crit. Additional damage. Ice deals the ice damage. It says it deals additional ice damage, but... Huh, that's weird. It says it deals additional ice damage. And additional damage type. There's an additional damage type, which is called ice. And then there's additional damage of the type ice. Which means, I think at least, if this guy deals ice damage with an ability, then this weapon would increase this ability's damage. I think this is how you're supposed to understand this. Or this weapon altogether is just better when it comes to dealing ice damage. Why? Okay, this one has higher crit damage. And now I'm at 32% block chance. Sadly... okay, so 14 and 16. The damage doubles. No. That is just amazing. 7 point something. What about this one here? 16, yeah. So this one does 7 to 8 damage. Do I have something comparable? Yeah, like this one. That's the same. So this damage is the on-hit damage, not the damage per second. It correlates to the damage number. like 14 and 16. That one gets multiplied by whatever dexterity amount you have. And then you basically end up with this kind of damage. So 4 dexterity means you double that amount of damage, roughly. And if I take this one, it's kind of the same. Yeah, 33, 30, 15. And it doubles it, yeah. And this one is 14, so it's 28, 29. Yeah, that's that. Very interesting. And 32, yeah. Very interesting. This is a strength weapon, but it probably won't double it, right? Yeah, it's 15. So now we know how the scaling for the damage works in this game. Because you start with a flat amount of damage of 10. The minimum damage of this one, like 10 to 12. And, very interestingly, you only have 2 points in strength. And those 2 points in strength multiply the damage by 50%. So half of 10 is 5 points, and together they mean 15 damage. Half of 12 is 6, so you end up with 18 damage. So every 4 points, you get another 100% damage for the weapon it scales with. Haha. So that means we can have... so 4 basically means 200% damage overall. 0 means just 100%, the amount of stuff that's written on it. Maybe we have something that does not scale with anything, like a basic weapon that has no scaling whatsoever. Maybe some kind of really, really, really weak magical stuff or something like that. Yeah, he cannot use any magical staves. Like, he is supposed to be a mage that cannot use magical staves. Like, that's weird. Can we? No, okay, he cannot wield that. Very interesting. So 4 points, 8 points means we have 3 times the damage, probably. And so it's 3.5 times the damage. That's the maximum you can do with the weapon, and 10 points in its scaling scaling attribute. So in the end, this would be 10 on the base, 20 on... Or let's take this one. This would be 30... no, 15 on the base, 30 on 4 points, and it would be 45 on 8 points. And it would give you another 7 points, so you end up with 52 something damage on 10 points. Okay, what about Iskrim? Iskrim uses a strength weapon. He has 5 points in here, and he does twice the damage. Yeah, roughly twice the damage. So he does 44. 44 damage. 44 damage and 1 point. And a quarter. And a quarter of this is 5. So 44 and... No, a little bit more than 5 means he ends up at roughly 50. So it's rounded up to 51. So, yeah, now we know the scaling. Very interesting. 3.5 at 10. Let's just remember that. Also... What about the armor? Armor doesn't change if you have higher constitution. It just gives you resistances. That's it. But it does not multiply this stuff with anything. Sadly. It's just the weapon that scales with it. The constitution value itself just allows you to have better equipment. And every point in it, I think. There's Rowan again. Yeah, every point in it gives you a certain amount of health. I think it's 50 every time you click on that. Yeah, now we have to look at that. It's 50. Do I have like a bonus health amulet somewhere? I don't think so. That would result in 150 health points. So that means that Iskrim 10 times 50 makes 500. So he has a base health amount of 118. So 118 minus 50 makes 68. This is the lowest. Or is it? Yeah. 68 points the minimum? Would that also be 68? No, this would be 37. Was it? No, 47. 47, and this one at 60 something. Something is weird. Does he get... Ah, wait, yeah, he also has a stat in here that increases the health by 10%, so... yeah, we got that stuff. So, anyway, I want to have Rohen to be some kind of a melee mage, battle mage, similar to the tree here. He doesn't need to use any offensive skills here. He just needs to use whatever abilities are available. Very, very interesting. I'm not going to give him any other stuff. Like, he can heal. He can do this. But he cannot regenerate focus points that quickly. Ah, yeah, wait a minute. Increasing the focus regeneration. I just give him some points in here, and that should do the trick just fine. Or maybe I can give him this. This cooldown are reduced by 20%. Yeah, that could help. Healing abilities cost 25% less focus to cast. The cooldowns are reduced by 20%. So it's just the cooldown that gets reduced again. 0.15. Nah, okay, let's apply it once. 0.42. So it would be at 0.47. What about him? Slightly higher focus regeneration than Isgrim. So in this case, Rowan is just going to hit the enemy and use one spell, and that's it. Because this is the same behavior that Isgrim displays. And he does not have that much regeneration anyway. And reducing the cooldown on the ability doesn't make any difference, because you don't have the focus points anyway. You can use it once, maybe twice. The reduction is already there, so it's 10 points. Yeah, it's 10 points, so I can use it twice in a fight. And how long does it take until you get one? Like 4 points in 10 seconds. So 20 seconds, roughly, a little bit more than 20 seconds, for one cast of the restoration ability. So yeah, we can use it once and that's it. But on the other hand, I'm probably going for the Elemental Wrath. I trigger it once and then I'm just going to leave him be on the front lines. And yeah, that would be it. Very, 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 very iffy. That wouldn't be helpful. That one wouldn't be helpful. Spell power. Kind of nice, but actually I don't need that. What I need is just more focus regeneration. So let's give him the points, and we don't need to make him too complicated. Undergast, on the other hand, just has an awful lot, and very awful lot of regeneration. And yeah, this one scales with intelligence, 190. And we are already maxed out, aren't we? Do I have someone to compare damage to? Wait a minute. Do I have... Yeah, Black Magic. 190 on Undergast, and he also has 10 intelligence. That's not helpful. What about willpower? Yeah, willpower. Let's see if he has like willpower kinds of damage somewhere. This is intelligence again. Intelligence again. 266. Constitution. Nope. Intelligence again. Healing does not tell you anything about the amount that you heal with. It might be a percentage, might be something completely different, who knows. And what about this? No, this one is 0.5% melee damage, interrupts a single target, increasing damage against weakened enemies. Deals damage to target enemy plus so and so much. And it scales with the melee weapon. This is also something interesting. So the better the melee altogether, then the better the spell would also be. Depends on the kind of melee weapon. So you can make it scale. That's really cool. So your physical characters have more variety when it comes to scaling. Because they scale with the weapon damage. Half of it at least. So half of this scales with either strength or dexterity. Depending on what it is. So you can basically choose. There's a flat amount, and then there is, yeah, the rest scales. Constitution, the shield. But yeah, he's also maxed out. No, damn it. How am I supposed to... Oh yeah, elementalism. That could do it. So we can use elementalism to figure out if there is some strange scaling here. This one has 107 for fire spark. And no one else uses elementalism. That's just great. Except for me. There we go. Aha. Very interesting. 107. Yeah, wait a minute. 7 times how much? 7 times 4 makes 28. So this is not quite it. The base values are a little bit lower than that. They are base values. They get multiplied by the intelligence value. And if it's the same damage multiplier as the dexterity and strength one, it should be at 3.5. Like base value times 3.5 makes this. But what is that? It's basically 330 damage, roughly. Divided by 35 is slightly less than 100. Slightly less than 100. And there we go. He's 107. With how much intelligence? 3. It's also interesting that Iskrim has element. Wait a minute. You can make them be a really aggressive destruction squad. Like, if you have a main character with elementalism, you can use Earthquake to topple every building. You can use Iskrim with Earthquake. And you can use Rohen with Earthquake. And in the end, you can use all 3 spells, one after another, to demolish every build. Like, you can rush the enemy base building with these 3 people and maybe 1 additional healer, like Undergast, for example, to keep everybody safe. Or maybe she can do something similar. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe we have some auto ability that does increase the kind of damage against buildings. But I don't think that there is something like that. Whatever. Except for this one. Maybe each enemy... Yeah, paradox magic. So you could basically go for Undergast as a healer. Because of this paradox. Like, this is cool. Absolutely amazing. And then you go for Rowan, Iskrim, and the main character with elementalism and Earthquake. And the amazing thing about this is that it does an awful lot of damage. It's 100 and... Wait a minute. 150 and 71. I have 3 constitution. Ugh. So this is 15.2. Very interesting. 3.5 times as much. 3.5 times as much. So the minimum damage should be at slightly less than 50. Slightly less. 40 maybe. 40? Yeah, 40. 40 and a little bit. So 40 times 3 makes 120. And half of that is another 20, so we end up with 140. So it's 40 and a little bit. That's the minimum damage for Earthquake. Let's compare it with this one here. So 40 and a little bit times 0.75 means you have, yeah, 40 and 30 together. And you end up with 70. So the constitution scaling is 3.5. So with this, we can basically expect the intelligence to scale the same. So this is also 3.5 times, maybe. So the scaler for everything in here is 3.5 times. Except for the health part here, I believe. That is just 50 points for every 1 point. Very interesting. Okay. Now that wait a minute, did I get every point for Roy now? Yes. Everything is selected. His weapons are out. And I'm gonna take this dude because I'm in dire need of another defensive character that is able to wear a very nice robe. Oh, come on. Immunity against all debuffs and purge. Cleanses all allies around you every 5 seconds. Impervious Protector might be one of the... What is this? 30-30 and 10-10? Okay. The bonus effect is pretty cool. Slightly better than the one he's wearing right now, so let's give him that. And now I'm just not sure if I should select this one here. Why can't I? Yeah, I can only see it here. Slightly better resistances are always cool, but immunity against debuffs and purge. That's pretty cool. So that means I cannot be weakened, I cannot be bleeding out, and I cannot be silenced. This is a really cool artifact. Let's give it to him, because he's the only one that can wear human defense armor like this, and I want to get the bestest of effects from him. And Iskrim can just take the, suck up the other kind of damage. So what about the helmets here? Immunity against crits, whatever. He doesn't need any sight because he's a melee character, and anyone else can see on his behalf. Plus 50 HP is pretty cool. And also this is the... yeah. What's the difference between this one? Oh, this one not only gives you higher defenses against magic, it also gives you immunity towards interrupts. So he cannot be interrupted, he cannot be critically hit, and he also has cleanses on him, so he's a very annoying character to fight against. Like, this dude will be the Power Ranger of our squad. So, what else we got? We don't need any weak armor in here, except for one that has, let's say... oh, this is actually pretty sweet. What does it give you? This one does not give you the additional health regeneration, but wait. But wait, yeah, this is the thing. I need to compare it. Like 20 and 20. Okay, I can compare this helmet, the pot helmet, to the pot helmet of revitalization. It's the same thing. This one just is an off helmet. This thing with a bonus effect. This one regenerates you, and other than that, immunity versus critical hits, immunity against critical hits. So what on earth? Why do they have different kinds of wordings for this? You have like immunity versus and immunity against. So it's basically the same thing, but the wording seems to either be hard-coded in, and there are two different teams who made the flavor text for this stuff, and the other half just made this. Makes no sense. What else? Yeah, the resistance is the same, the bonus health is the same, so this one just gives you the bonus regeneration out of combat, and that's it. Also, the requirements are the same, so it's not that this one requires more constitution, or this one requires more constitution, or less even. It's the same. So, having the better version of a helmet is just better altogether. Yeah, but he does not need any worse helmet. But he needs maybe the Ring of the Lightbringer in order to have higher defenses against magic. Like 62, Jesus Christ. He seems to be pretty much immune against everything. Let's also give him some black magic. Bonus damage. Now he can do like all the stuff that he needs. Oh, or we can give him some focus. And he can get some more resistances against fire and ice. Do I have a fire and ice ring somewhere? Like fire, ice, resistance. I thought I've seen some ring in here that has this kind of feature. Maybe I wear this myself. No. That's weird. Whatever. Let's give him... Both of this is fire, so let's just give him the fire resistance in here, and that's it. And also consumables are artifact. No, this artifact is not the one I want to give him. Also... Fire Nova. Let's give him the fire nova of the main character, because he will be surrounded by enemies anyway. Let's hope that we, as some kind of a ranged user, are not surrounded by enemies, and he will benefit from this bonus effect a bit more than anyone else. But Jesus Christ, is he dangerously strong. Almost as strong as this guy, with going full on ice resistance. So it's either evened out or not so evened out, but he definitely needs a helmet. I think this is the reason why this armor scales a bit better with resistances. But yeah, he does need a bit more magic resistance. Dwarves are kind of screwed. Not only that, okay, he has a on block, get armored for 5 seconds, cannot be stunned. Let's just give him some love here, why not? What about this one? This is the bonus HP, bonus black damage, bonus fire damage. Additional damage type, it's a type, not the damage itself that gets more. This is fire, this is HP. This is fire resistance again. Like, he actually needs ice resistance. Like, if I take this away, no. It would be the same. Only thing that he doesn't have is ice resistance, but then we have Iskrim, which is ice resistance. So it's either Iskrim against the ice characters, or Rohen against anyone else, if it's magical. Other than that, I can just throw them at the enemy and hope for the best. What I cannot do, though, is utilize the equipment of characters that, like these. Because once I've used up the items on these people here, and I don't have them on the field, then I can't select them if necessary. So I have to be sure that these are all duplicates on the sideline characters. Alright, let's claim a reward here. And as I said, I'm not quite sure which one to pick. Wait a minute. Rowan's armor, what was it? Yeah, he does not need another armor. Like 30 and 10. And it's cleansing. Regenerates 10. Yeah, 30 and 10. So this is slightly better. I think he could even use it though. I don't know. Was he at 10? I think so, yeah. No, he was at 9, so he can't even use it, even if he wanted to. Bonus point in strength. No, dexterity would be really cool, but no, this is not the one that I want to give him. This is an elemental, purely elementalist robe, and who would benefit here? No one. Regenerate 10 HP when out of combat. Double your bleed out. No one needs that. I mean, come on. Anyone in my squad will get 10 constitution, I would say. So they are all gonna get that stuff. No one gets weak types of armor here. Either this or if it's a caster, they can take the bonus effects of the spellcasting variety, right? But even if that happens, I think the additional security against physical attacks like this from the armor itself is more important than having slightly better spellcasting. I don't know. Okay, spell power is really interesting, but that's that. And getting a Titan's armor of regeneration. Yeah, let's get the Titan's armor, and someone in my squad will definitely benefit from it at some point in time. Not Rowan, maybe me. Wait a minute. But what are we gonna use it? Ability focus cost for everything is reduced. But it don't get a benefit for certain types of spells. Yeah, I don't have better robes for me. That's just cheap. I have really, really good melee armor thingies, but the rest not so much. Jesus Christ. Alright. This was a more or less talking and upgrading and understanding the systems of the game kind of episode. Let's end it for now and continue with the exploration of Mulandir and talking to the whole people at another time. So, yeah, that's that, I believe. Until then, like and subscribe. Ta-ta.